Now, so let's go ahead and get into this last film of the podcast. It is a dishonorable mention. This movie I really didn't like. It started off really good, but just kind of declined in just everything else. So this is Six Underground, the latest movie that has Ryan Reynolds up in it. Came out around Christmas time last year, but it's about a guy played by Ryan Reynolds who goes ghost, meaning that he died, in order to bring justice to the unjust and recruits several individuals to help in his crusade in doing so. Okay, so that sounds pretty good, right? Sounds pretty good. When it starts off, like the action you'll take from this movie is done really well. If you're an action junkie, this is one of the movies for you. The whole beginning sequence of this movie is just all action with car chases. Like, that's really what it is. It goes on forever. And it does become exhausting after a while because you're like, okay, when is this going to stop? Okay, what's happening? Okay. It's just like you're enjoying it, but at the same time, you don't have any context as to what it does. Now, it does explain certain things or whatever, but it's like it kind of goes on for too long. It felt like the car scene went on for like 20 minutes. It didn't, but it felt like it. It really did. It doesn't have any good character development and just nothing interesting. I never felt attached to the characters enough to care if anything happened. I mean, hell, for example, Ryan Reynolds' character doesn't even call them by their regular names. He gives the people that he works with numbers, and he calls everybody by that. You know, whether it's 2, 3, 7, something like that. He calls them by their numbers that he gave them. He doesn't even use their real name. He doesn't want to know their real names. Because that just shows you that if he doesn't care about the people, why should we? The movie looks really good, though. It is visually a great movie to look at. The cinematography is dope as fuck. And the movie is very stylistic. And you can blatantly tell that this movie was just style over substance when you get to the bare bones of it. And while watching this movie, I can admit, I didn't know. I went into this movie just knowing what it was on the surface. And I didn't know that Michael Bay directed this. But in like watching it, I'm like, this seems kind of familiar. Like, who directed this? And well, Michael Bay directed this, and I'm like, that explains everything. It just made everything made sense because this is clearly a Michael Bay movie. But also, it does have some good comedic elements as well as some entertaining character moments and interactions. But beyond the well-known Bay action, humor, characters, and their chemistry, it doesn't truly offer anything unique as a movie or even with the story. And I felt let down and very disappointed after viewing this. And if you're expecting anything more, you will be disappointed as well. This movie is a miss. And it's kind of sad because the trailer to this movie showed promise. But that's what we get with a lot of kick-ass trailers to movies like this. A lot of promises, but it is not delivered in the final product. And this movie is really no exception.